August was prediction season, but it's boring when I do it. I asked you to do it, and I said, pretend your life, well, your life savings are on the line. What is the boldest thing you would bet your money on? And someone hit it out of the park right out of the gate here. This prediction, Tennessee finally beats Alabama after 16 years, and I get to remove the suffering part out of my name. That was submitted by Suffering Tennessee Fan, who has since just become Garden Variety Tennessee Fan, I'm told. Congratulations there. This was surreal. We were there. We were on the field. Director Colin was there. Yes, I couldn't tell you at the time because, frankly, I don't want you to know he exists, but he existed. Colin was very real that day, as was Vol Nation, as was those, well, the upright just ended up in the river, and yours truly ended up toting another one and got video of it. There was priceless video. And there were countless memes and GIFs that came out of this occurrence. And so when we're showing you B-roll of the Tennessee-Bama game, you'll notice sometimes it ends up being cell phone video. Well, that's because Director Colin and I had our phones out. I think Dennis Dodd got some footage and sent it to us as well. But this was really, really wild. So I don't know if I told you this story. There were a lot of people who had to be treated for smoke inhalation. This will just send Tennessee fans over the top. Just exuberance. 6 months later, or however long it's been, we're in an outdoor facility, mind you, and the cigar smoke is so thick on the field, and people are compacted so tightly on the field. This is iJosh footage, by the way. People are compacted so tightly that they had to treat people for smoke inhalation. Who would have seen that coming in August? Well, I'll tell you, Suffering Tennessee Fan on Twitter saw it coming. Maybe not to that degree, but he/she saw it coming. Congratulations. For the record, I called that an 8. I didn't think it was going to happen, and it happened. I was wrong. Hopefully for the last time, I was wrong. Next up, the national championship game, according to Grayson, was going to feature 2 teams that had never been in the playoff. Now, you may look at it and say, oh, he almost got it. No, he didn't. No, one out of 2 versus 2 out of 2 is a very, very big difference. And the fact of the matter is, it's hard to get one of them in there, historically, that's never been in the playoff. You're asking someone who's never been to the playoff to get in and win a game and make the title. Well, TCU did it. You know, Michigan, for example, is still trying to do this. Michigan did it. Or TCU, rather, did it, and they did it on the first time around. Problem is they ran into something called Georgia, who's been there, done that, and just did it again. Did you hear what I just said? Jesse, Colin, you been there, done that, did it again. Is better than the t-shirt Stetson Bennett was wearing the other day. People made such a big deal about the t-shirt he was wearing in the celebration. Been there, done that, did it again. TM, trademark, that's mine. That's legally binding. That's ours. So this didn't almost happen, okay? To get back to the prediction. This did not almost happen. Good for Grayson, really bold, a little bit too bold. Making the playoff and being in the title game, there's a wide expanse between doing one versus doing the other. All right, next up, this one missed, or no, this one did not miss. The prediction from Jameson was Clemson going to have the same disappointing year as last year. They will not make the ACC championship game. Well, Clemson made the ACC championship game. And frankly, they weren't all that special as a team this year. Frankly, they had quarterback situations all year. And frankly, it still didn't matter because the ACC is a landfill until further notice. And it was again this year. Pretty inexplicable, but it is what it is. Clemson's been to that game every year since 2015 except one. They've won it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the last 8 years, including this past year. They won it. So even if Florida State would have beaten them, I think mathematically they still go. So it was never even in doubt. So this one was dead on the vine, as Meemaw would say. Next up, this one didn't come close either. I put a 9.3 on this next one on the boldness scale for a reason. Minnesota, here's the prediction. Minnesota goes 11-1. They win the Big Ten West. They take Ohio State to the wire in the Big Ten champion, whatever. No. And they had a good year. But 11-1 was not happening. They were 9-4. Bradley walks in earlier today. You don't know Bradley. I'm trying to slowly introduce him to you. Frankly, he's not a producer, so he doesn't even deserve the right to have his name mentioned on the show. So, anonymous employee who hails from Montgomery, Alabama, walks into the office earlier today. He says, you know who Minnesota was this year? They were the Oregon State of the Big Ten. And it was the most profound thing he's ever said. Because we sat there and we thought about it. He said, yeah, you get it. He couldn't leave well enough alone. He had to explain himself. And he made a good point, though. He said, yeah, Oregon State, good team, but pretty anonymous. Like, not many people knew much about him, even after the season was over. And likewise with Minnesota. Did you know they went 9-4? Most of you didn't. They won the Pinstripe Bowl. Coveted, very coveted. They won the Pinstripe Bowl. And so at the end, boom, 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 they were knocking on the door of double-digit wins. What they were not doing is knocking on the door of pushing Ohio State to the wire in the Big Ten title game. For a couple of reasons, as it turns out. How about this last one? I don't really know what to make of this one, because it technically did not hit, but it kind of should still count, I think. This is about LSU. Michael said, LSU will make a New Year's Six bowl game. We've never lacked talent except at the coaching level. Now we have that. So much of this is accurate. Michael deserves so much credit. Because, mind you, we had someone else predict they were going to finish last in the West, which means we just ran the gamut of wild LSU predictions in August. They didn't make it. They didn't make a New Year's Six game. But here's the thing. They went to the SEC Championship. They beat Alabama, who did make a New Year's Six game. And so, even though they went to the Citrus Bowl, I think it was, they kind of were a New Year's Six team. Oh, and by the way, they just committed an outright felony against Purdue in the bowl game. 63-7. Drew Brees thought he wanted a part of that, and Drew Brees realized about midway through the first quarter, this is not for me. I need to go find a sideline in the pro game. I need to go find a broadcast booth. I do not need to be over here right now. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And LSU didn't even apologize. So technically this is a loss. Technically he didn't get it right. But I think we need to executive override this. I think Michael just needs to get a gold star anyway. I think he got it right anyway.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me. That's how we keep this entire thing free.